How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review, and it is blended saison time. Not quite sure what time it is. Wild ale aged in apple brandy barrels with some ciderish things going on, kind of time, in the form of Rushing Duck Brewing's Cuvée De Orange County. I have not had this yet. A couple of my friends have. One of those is my buddy George, who actually gave me this bottle. Thank you very much, George. Super excited to give this a whirl because I love apple brandy barrels. I like me some saisons, and I like Russian Duck as a brewing company. Anyway, as far as what this says on the label, it just says Cuvée de Orange County, American Wild Ale aged in oak barrels with apple juice. Government warning on the side, brewery information on the side. Now, they have a little bit more information online, so I'll read it off here just because more information that's pertinent, I guess you would say, other than just a American Wild Ale aged in oak barrels and with apple juice. It says Cuvée de Orange County is a saison cider blend that has been aged in barrels that once held apple brandy barrel, then cider. Now our beer was fermented with multiple strains of yeast and bacteria. We've been sitting on these barrels for over a year and a half. So this has been in the barrel, second use barrels for a year and a half. Cuvée is reminiscent of a dried and tart French cider with a touch of oak. So yeah, it sounds like it's a wild yeast saison that they said on here it says saison cider blend. It sounds like, apple brandy barrel than cider. So they took this through that in a barrel. That's kind of where maybe the cider comes into play. And so there's a whole lot going on. So hopefully it delivers. Label-wise, it's actually dig it. It's ghetto as hell. There's just lettering on faux weathered paper. I dig it. Nice little wax top to it. Dig through this sucker and see what we got. Been dying to dive into this. It was given to me by my buddy George, my beer dealer George. He was supposed to come over today to review it with me, but he was feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'm not waiting any longer because I want to drink it. So there you go. That's me being a jerk, not waiting. Jesus. There's some rough wax going on here. We figured I'd pre-cut this stuff, but I don't like to do any pre-stuff. I just like to do everything in a moment. So yeah, let's try to just stab through this. Let's see if we can get it going. This is that super annoying wax. I mean, I think this kind of wax that's really hard, it's really hard and it doesn't come off all in one piece. While it's annoying now, I think it's one of the better waxes you can use to actually preserve your beers, because it feels like something that creates a really nice seal, because it has almost a subtle, even though it is kind of brittle, it has like a subtle pliability to it. So I mean, if it holds up better over time, it's a nice trade-off to have. Let's see if we can get under. There we go. We got her. Whole bunch of wax remnants going on in here. So let's see. I love apple cider to the point where I don't drink apple cider at all because I will just chug the whole bottle of it in one sitting. So this comes off kind of apple cider-ish, as they say. Then I might be a little bit biased because I'm not a big cider guy when it comes to alcoholic cider. But they said the blending on here it says apple cider, but on here it says apple juice. It should say juice or apple cider, non-alcoholic apple cider. Anyway, enough of me rambling. You can smell the apples from here. What was there was about a quarter of a pinky head, just off white. Not much creaminess to it. Dissipated pretty damn quickly. And what's left over is like a watered down orange juice kind of color. It looks like a subtle, slightly pulpy kind of orange juice. Almost like if you made a mimosa and you had a bunch of ice in it, let's say, and it kind of got watered down. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting off of this thing. Just a subtle orange juicy vibe from it, very watered down, hazy cloudiness to it, bursting kind of carbonation from the bottom. Not explosive, but every now and then you get a big burst of carbonation coming off the bottom, and it kind of cycles through that, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like something that has cider or apple juice involved, because it's kind of got that kind of color to it. Like a pulpy apple juice, if there is such a thing. So, let's see if we can get a nose on this sucker. Definitely getting some acidic, kind of lactosey, kind of sourness off of this. I expected some sourness with the second use barrel. Ciders going on, saison with wild yeast. You're almost expected to be kind of leaning sour. So you're getting acidic tartness in there. Tons of apples, and it's like an apple juiciness, definitely. I wouldn't even go green apple on this. I'd definitely go just regular, just old school, like red apple, but like a slightly fermented red apple. But that yeast, that wild yeast is coming through as like a funkiness. It's, like I said, there's a tart sourness, there's acidity to it, and I don't think it's coming from the yeast, and I don't think it's coming from the beer itself. I think it could be a barrel thing, maybe from the cider. I don't know, but it's there. So you're getting a nice acidity to it. I'm not sure if it's going to be sour in the mouth or not, but there's an acidity to it. There's a tartness to it. There's a definite uber apple vibe to it. That funky yeast is there. Saison-wise, I'm not getting much as far as pepperiness or spiciness. And really anything malt-wise is just dominated by that kind of apple. So yeah, she smells like kind of more cidery than saison, but she looks absolutely glowingly apple-ish. So let's see what she tastes like. Cheers. Yeah. There's this acidity there, but it's like, you think it's going to be huge right off the bat, but it's not. It's like build for a half second, like here it comes, and just falls straight away. You get it right up front, boom, it's on the back, you're done, but you get it right at first kind of gulp, right when you get it in your mouth, and you get that slight acidity towards the back, but then it just kind of fades into this apple juicy saison. And when I say apple juicy saison, it's more apple juicy than saison. You are getting some of those oak tannins in there. You're getting the sweetness. I think it's that year and a half in the apple brandy barrel that actually drew some of the apple brandy out. Second use barrels, typically you're not going to impart a ton of what the original flavor is in there. But if you're talking that held cider originally, if that cider sat in there for maybe 3-4 months, and then you took this saison and put that in that barrel and let it sit for a year and a half and go a little bit deeper into the wood, maybe draw a little bit more. So I think you're getting kind of a little bit of that apple brandy playing off that kind of cidery, saison-y notes that you get. The funky yeast is there, but it's not as prevalent as you would think it would be based off of the nose. And like I said, that sour, it's like a faux, it's like a fake out. You think you're going to get that acidity. It's there in the nose. It's there right at the base beginning when you put it in your mouth, and then it's gone. Sours are actually 1,000%, no joke, straight up heartburn juice for me. With the acidity I got in this, I was kind of nervous because I didn't take a heartburn pill today. I was like, here we go. Time to fucking just bite through that heartburn. And I'm not getting any hints of even getting any heartburn from this. So, yeah, it doesn't have that acidity level you would think based off of the nose. It is more of that kind of cider apple juiciness. It's fun. It's different. Body is very thin. Carbonation is kind of, well, it's there. It's very minimal. So those are probably two biggest drawbacks on it. Not that I want a huge big body when it comes to a saison, but I think a slight bump would have did it in here. Or if you were to been able to kind of keep up that ABV, I think it's 8.6. It doesn't say it on here. I think it's 8.6. Not ABV, but keep up that carbonation a bit. it would create a better mouthfeel. So I think that's where it's kind of like lacking. Maybe, add something to the mix to kind of beef up the body, or kind of keep that, or force carbonate it, or do something to get some carbonation back in here to where it actually has a bit more body to it, because that's the only thing that's lacking. I think if it had that, it would actually deliver a bit more flavor to it too, because that's what carbonation does. Yeah. To me, this is how I like... How do I put it? Sours. That's what people love. Especially when it comes to food pairings, things like that. To me, this is what I want when I'm going to be eating food. I can't do the overly acidic sours or neomorphic sours, or the sours that people typically want, more wine-like beers when it comes to food. But for someone like me, or if you're not huge into sours, if you want something that's going to pair well with food, this is kind of the kind of beer that I want on there. But to call it a beer is a stretch. It's kind of like a partly cloudy, partly sunny kind of deal right here. Some people would say this is a beer with cider tendencies. I would call this a cider with beer tendencies. But either way, it's not too shabby. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better beers in general I've had as of late? No. Is it one of the better saisons, because that's what they call it, I've had as of late? No. Is it one of the better wild ales I've had as of late? Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be in a leader in a pack up there, but with what I'm getting in there, with the nice kind of oak tannins, with that very, very, very subtle apple brandy kind of in there, combined with the apple juice, which I like, and a nice funkiness. It is really nice. It's just, like I said, kind of lacks that carbonation, a little bit of body for me to kind of make my butthole pucker a little bit. So, yeah. So it's not too shabby at all. Value and availability, I think it was $15 for a $7.50. Not too bad. It's ABV and the time spent in the barrel, so that's not too shabby. Availability, I'm pretty sure it was a brewery release only. And if you like this. If you like sours, but you don't want all that super acidity, or you like apple-based beverages, whether it be wine or ciders, and even beers that are apple-leaning, then you'd definitely be into this, because what it does deliver in spades, and that's apple. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or you didn't, or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. If you want to check us out anywhere else on the internet, you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers, and all 4 of those places. And another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice apple-based beverage right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.